Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, we're a movie episode of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's hallucinating with me tonight?
Hey everybody, it's Kenneth Sanity, and I am tarnished and filthy.
This is everyone's favorite king of useless knowledge, Joe Butler. So close to being King Otaku, you could almost call me Otacon. But if you do, my husband will probably kill me.
And this is Joe Larrey here, the real Joe Larrey, not that other fake one.
And we're here to talk about a movie that actually, Joseph, you actually recommended on the Discord, and then it won a poll, and then Ken had commented and said, make it win! So, we're here to talk about Perfect Blue, directed by Satoshi Kon, and came out in 1997 in Fantasia?
Fantasia Film Fest.
Ah, thank you. And then 1998 in Japan. No, this movie's... I thought it was older. Okay.
That's pretty old.
It's almost 20, isn't that enough?
No, I thought it was 94 for some reason.
10.
What?
Is it an age joke?
No,
Oh, okay.
it wasn't. Pervert. Maybe I'm not the tarnished one.
It's definitely Joe. I think to be fair, I'm pretty sure we're all tarnished in the minds of depending on who we're talking to. But
Oh yeah, 100%.
so yeah. So we're talking about Perfect Blue, a movie I have never seen before, but have known of when I was sailing the seven seas the first time on WinMX on dial-up. I remember this was a movie that people had told me I should download, and I didn't for some reason, because it was a movie that was too big of a file, I think is what it was.
Wow.
So I had never seen this until yesterday.
Now, I do want to point out real quick before we
Oh,
start,
God, yes.
if anybody wants to go watch this, if you were to, I don't know, maybe look it up on archive.org, maybe you could find it there.
It's on YouTube.
That too.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, I bought it on Amazon. I'm okay with that. I don't mind
Yeah.
owning this movie.
I
also
watched
buy
it
it on
on
Amazon.
Blu-ray.
Ooh.
I don't purposely buy Blu-rays because I don't want to put them in my PS5
That's why I have a Blu-ray player.
And why do you own a PS5?
because my wife surprised me.
Oh.
Hey,
Doesn't make any
PS
sense, but
I don't like games I'm okay with, but I don't like having to switch discs in for movies and stuff. That's a whole nother thing. I like my movies digital pick and yeah.
okay.
So Joe, what is your history with this movie?
Weirdly weird. So I was once just a young anime boy back in high school when I learned about this movie. A mutual friend that I went to high school with basically was the one who introduced me to all my anime stuff and all my the dark road of anime. You know, there's only so much interesting things you can get on cable and such. So I was introduced to basically what I referred to as like anime that's actually adult animation and not like teenager stuff or kid stuff. And
Was you
I
introduced
watched,
to a Blue Girl?
yeah, Blue Girl, this, Paprika. If anyone's familiar with, what is it? Gantz, Elfen Lied.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, stuff I had to watch at like 3 a.m. because I had a TV in my bedroom next to my grandparents. And lots of things came out that I did not want them to catch me with. I watched this on my PSP. My friend gave me, or not didn't give me, but he let me borrow his UMD for the PSP movie. And he's like, trust me, there's a reason why, which of course we'll get into why later. But I literally got up at midnight and watched this on my PSP because I didn't want anyone in the house awake while I watched it.
That is fair. And Ken.
As usual, this is just one of those things that I happened across. Back in the day, they used to have these things called VHS tapes, right? And VHS tapes were traded and sold at conventions. And, you know, I was with a friend and he found a copy of this on VHS and he was thrilled beyond belief. So sat down and watched it. And I was like, it's fine. And then I watched it again and I was like, oh, I get it.
It's a masterpiece.
Yeah. So I have a pretty long established history with this movie.
Okay. And Joseph.
So my first exposure to this movie was way back in 1997 when I was a little kid. I was watching, I don't know if anybody knows Gotcha Man or what it's known here in the States as G-Force.
Yep.
Yeah, they back in the 90s, they did like a reboot of it. And I was watching the VHS and there was a trailer before it and it was for Perfect Blue. And I remember that trailer messed me up because it was just so surreal. And like Joe said, we'll get into why it's a very weird movie. But also like Joe, back when I was in college, I actually picked up the UMD of this for the PSP as well, and that was the first time I actually watched it as well.
All right, that's
who-
funny that you both watch it that way for the first time.
I don't know who thought it'd be a good idea to put good anime movies on UMDs, but that guy deserves a raise. And the Resident Evil movie and Silent Hill movie.
2 out of 3 of those are good.
All right, and before we go too far, 2 things we should mention. One, I do want to give a warning in this. We are going to talk about sexual assault. We are going to talk about mental illness. What
Mental
else are we going to talk about? Mental health, yeah. Yeah, okay. Covers it, right?
We're going to talk about some shit, basically.
Yes.
So
very touchy subject.
be prepared.
Movie doesn't
I like to put
punches.
warnings.
Yeah. And with that, before we even get into the movie, let's start with the weirdest thing I've ever learned: idol culture.
Idol culture. Wait, we need something better for that.
I think you blew the speakers out.
I mean, to be fair, you can talk loud enough to where the Audacity, where it just won't record it. I've done it many times.
Sweet.
But idol culture is really weird in Japan. I learned through it mostly becoming more familiar with stuff that's just not anime. What is it? It's weird how we have things that match other countries, but then also doesn't. Because basically you have girls who will get into idol groups either by themselves, and anywhere of a team of like 5 to 20 girls at one point there could be.
Yeah.
And they run the circuit, they do things. Japan has their weird situations where they do meet and greets where you can buy tickets to shake their hands and give them love letters. And they take all this stuff because it's fan stuff. And of course, this movie does dive into like why that's also a dangerous thing, which does happen technically. Just like in every other country, famous people have fans, and sometimes those fans are legitimately crazy. But you have it to where these girls can be an idol to probably 30?
Yeah, I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, and they have to put on this persona, which we do see in this movie, and also is referenced in the hit game Persona 4, where they have to make this character where they're pure and they're loving, or they kind of have an attitude or whatever it is, and keep that as they go throughout their career, keep up basically this act that's not really them because they want to be famous. And the movie also dives into going into other paths where, it's kind of a weird thing too, where it's basically called graduation because the idea is that person is technically no longer in that, not only part of that like agenda, but also they're no longer going back to it as well, which the movie also touches on, where they talk about her not being able to go back to being an idol and things like that. And usually it goes from one way or the other, or both, where you can have someone who is just straight an idol to where you can have someone who is an idol or an actor or just an actor. And I think you can go from one to the other, but not back. But even then, all of it goes through all this weird producing way where, give an example, because it's actually something I think hopefully you're all familiar with. Has anyone ever played Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core?
Yeah.
No.
In that game, there is a character, Genesis, is a real life face actor known as Gak. That is a singer and actor and a common writer, and he basically got to use his image. But now the weird thing is, like, Japan's really touchy about their actors and idols and stuff too, to where a point to where if they don't think something's going to get him enough money, they're not going to do it. So when Gak was in 7, he didn't get a lot of money for it. And when they're like, hey, we're making the remake now, so we need Gak back. And they're like, well, is it going to be worth it? Because last time he didn't make enough money. That's why the remake for Crisis Core took so long. And that's why if you've played both the remakes, you don't see that Genesis character yet, because I don't even still know if they've gotten his likeness back yet for that character.
He's a big part of that game.
Yeah, and so I don't know why they use likeness rights. It's the same thing if you're familiar with Tokusatsu. There's 2 common writer characters that will never come back because the actors are way bigger now, and they're like, why are they going to go back to a kids show when they're like soap opera actors now, or as we see in this, like detective shows and things like that, or even movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew a little of this, but not majority of this.
Yeah, you see a lot more stuff, which I forgot, but we'll bring up because I want to also get in the movie. Not keep y'all here talking forever about a weird Japanese fact. You have fans who are weird. You have website fan things and things like that. But like I said, it mostly goes into the whole they're pure and innocent until they graduate, because graduation's kind of a big thing and they can't go back and all this other weird stuff. There's a current situation. If you ever wondered what happened to Baby Metal, that's kind of what happened. One of them got sick and had to leave the group, and that kind of tore the group apart. And I'm not really entirely sure what it is, but it sucked. I think they're back kind of, but it's not like where Baby Metal Origin's at 10, they're like at an 8, so it's like So
Okay. All right, that all of it then for that
yeah,
part?
pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
Okay. And Ken, do you want to say the plot of this movie? We forgot that last night.
Yeah, we totally did, which means I absolutely prepared. As actress Mima Kirigoe drifts further and further from her pop career in a music group called Cham, her life begins to fracture as she is stalked by one, at least, person intent on bringing her down and bringing her back to the world of pop perfection. But what is real? What isn't real? Who is making that website? All of these questions must be faced in order for Mima to find her perfect blue day.
Yours are so much better than when I do them.
Thanks, I thought it sucked.
No, you listen to a movie episode when you're not on, like To Wong Fu, and you'll hear Tiffany complain about, you're not Ken. So, that does happen.
Oh boy.
So this movie is fucked up. That's the first thing I want to say.
Yeah, this Satoshi Kon makes really, really good psychological horror movies.
Horror?
Yeah, because
Baidu.
Paprika is not a horror. So that's why I'm like, oh,
Okay.
He makes good psychological thrillers. We'll put it that way.
yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Because thriller works for everything except Tokyo Godfathers.
Yeah, Tokyo Godfathers is a Christmas movie, but also has a very weird moment at the end of that movie.
Never seen it, but I want to. So I've never seen any of his movies.
There is a note on my calendar in October to remind you to put that on the Christmas list.
Good. I'm going to try. Like, when I came into this movie, I didn't know what to expect. Like, I knew very, very little about it. I knew it was a horror movie, but that was all I knew.
Is it a horror movie, though?
It's classified as a horror movie.
Is it?
It's more like a Hitchcockian style horror.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would call it more of a thriller.
Yeah,
But
no, thriller is more accurate, but that's just what, like, Amazon's his horror animation, Sharibo, I said that word wrong. So that's just kind of what I was basing it off of.
yeah, fair enough. I mean, Amazon sucks, so just keep that in your mind.
So Joe, did you appreciate that this movie starts off with a Sentai reference? Power Rangers? That made me laugh.
Yes, I wish we still did that in America.
I love how they're like, man, this is so much cheaper than seeing it on TV. It's like, well, yeah. Oh, it made me laugh. Can we cover so much Power Ranger stuff?
Yeah, we did do that in America for the first Power Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
Mighty Morphin, and then they realized it was expensive and they stopped.
Can never
was
have
very
the good things.
No, we cannot.
Well, Saban doesn't like to spend money, so.
No one likes to spend money anymore.
I do.
I do too. I have a whole bunch lately, so I just ordered a new microphone and bought new glasses. So I like to spend money, apparently. But no, after you like kind of explaining this stuff with like the pop culture, it does make a little bit more sense of what's going on in this movie, because I didn't really understand all that. It's like, okay, so this woman is part of a 3-part, and now she's going to go on her own and be an actress. Like, that shouldn't be that big of a deal. We see that in America. Like, you see people go from one and they kind of go back and forth depending on if it doesn't work or not. I mean, we've had, Taylor Swift did a couple movies. Not much, but she did like 1 or 2, and then she just went back to what she's good at.
Yeah, music. But one of them was Cats, so we don't count that.
Oh, I forgot. I was thinking of the one that she does with her current boyfriend at the time, Taylor from Twilight. But I forgot.
Taylor Lautner?
Yeah, she did a movie with him. And a bunch
she was
of other
on
people.
An episode of New Girl once.
So this is like the Japanese equivalent of what happened to Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus.
Oh, okay. That's a good way to compare it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. No, I like that. I like that comparison.
That's the problem, though. Like, we don't have any kind of real frame of reference to idol culture here. Like,
we do, Ken.
Not really.
No, I mean, there are certain people in this country that do worship an idol. We even have gold statues of him, too.
No, that's nothing compared to idol culture in fucking Japan.
Yeah.
The closest thing I think you can get here is if you cross the insanity of the boy bands like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC with the My Little Pony crowd.
Oh, the male My Little Pony crowd.
But tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. It's if Selena's fans were a bunch of weird dudes.
Oh, God.
in a lot of ways.
God.
I mean, Selena can be a pretty good, accurate example of this because she was killed by a fan.
I was thinking,
Yeah.
who is the Icelandic singer? Was it Bork?
Oh, Bjork?
Yeah, with her crazy stalker.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She did have one of those.
Yeah, like mailed her a bomb or something.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, that guy shot John Lennon because a taxi driver, because the actress
Oh, yeah, because
No, that was
Jodie
Reagan.
Foster.
Reagan.
Right.
Reagan,
Reagan?
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was Reagan.
Either way, he shot him to impress what's her face,
Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster. Yeah.
Yep. Say his name, Mark David Chapman.
So yeah, in a lot, I think it's really interesting that in a lot of ways, even though we're different cultures, a lot of the same shit happens.
people get obsessed. Yeah,
People get obsessed. Actors want, which is what I was getting at. Actresses who are, like what they consider kid stuff, trying to become a more mature actress kind of thing. A lot what the Disney kids try to do and fail, aka Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus.
It's amazing that even though this movie's almost 30 years old, how it's still completely relevant today, especially in the whole age of social media.
Oh my God. It was curdling watching again this time. I was like, oh my God, if there was ever a cautionary tale for the internet, it's this fucking movie.
You're not wrong, unfortunately.
And the wild thing is the internet was just becoming a thing. They make a whole to-do.
That's my favorite part in this whole movie, where it's like, oh, this is fucking the 90s.
Yeah, and it has the Mac logo when she turns on the computer. Oh, that was a flashback.
Yeah, I said the same thing to my wife when we were watching this together. It was a good flashback.
What a time back when, you have your, let's be honest, that was supposed to be Netscape that she
That
pulled
was
up on the
100%
computer.
Netscape.
Oh, yeah.
But we used to be a proper country. We used to be a proper world. And now we're not.
That's an understatement, sir.
Yeah, well, it's an understatement for a lot of things. But I don't know, this movie is just it's hard to watch. It was always hard to watch. It's not exactly the easiest thing to sit through, but watching it now, it's worse.
Yeah.
Because I'm just imagining, oh God, poor Mima would have been doxxed.
Uh-huh.
And the fucking TV show set would have been swatted. Oh God, it's horrible.
It's weird looking at some of these time capsules in a sense. That's kind of what this is. This is a time capsule back to the 90s, and it's weird looking back at it, now in 2025.
You want to know a really weird cultural difference?
Sure, please.
In Japan, their phones, you can't turn the flash and the camera sound off. And they did that because they got sick of perverts taking pictures of women.
Yep.
That's entirely fair.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have perverts here too.
Yeah, but we don't care. That's the big difference.
No.
Japan actually cares about their people, mostly.
We care about our people too here in America. You just have to be millionaires. Then we care about you. Isn't that how it works here?
Dude, okay, so I'm going to make a really weird joke. Mike, do you know what getting Shinzo Abe is?
No.
That was the original Luigi Mangione. Shinzo Abe's the Japanese president, and he was basically trying to force everyone to have kids. Japan doesn't have guns. This guy made a gun and shot him point blank. And
in broad daylight.
In broad daylight. And Japan makes a joke out of it to this day of, you better be quiet, old man, or you're going to get Shinzo Abe'd.
Wow.
So America's not that fucked up.
That's pretty funny. I mean, that should be a sign to people. Maybe you shouldn't, force that idea on people. Huh? Maybe?
Well, see, here's the thing. It worked over there.
It did.
Also, she doesn't own a car, which I forget how normal that is in some cities, like Japan.
Very, very normal, especially in Tokyo. There's really no reason with the subway system.
It'd be a bad thing. I wouldn't mind not having to drive sometimes.
Same.
I'd love just being able to sit for an hour and read a book and then be at work. Man.
I wish I could walk down the street and get several things from the store and then walk back instead of having to drive 10 minutes out.
How about if you had to drive an hour to get to the nearest Dairy Queen to where you were?
I've done that. Not worth it.
Go to someone else.
Damn, dude. Get a closer Dairy Queen.
But no, I like that idea too, having everything closer. One thing in this movie that I didn't understand how important it is, she looks out her window multiple times throughout this film at where the train is, and little did I realize how important that would be later on.
There's a lot of interesting things that you can catch early on. when
So
you think about it.
I watched this movie twice because I watched this movie once and I went, "What the fuck did I just watch?" So then I sat down today and watched again while editing this time, and I caught things I didn't catch the first time. There's a lot of subtle things in this movie.
Oh yeah.
There's comments made. There's one thing that I caught: the eyes. The characters that are more villainous, their eyes are farther apart. Think of the two main killers in this.
Like, yeah, but I don't know if that's really something you can hang your hat on.
I would say they're more kind of deformed looking based off their designs to the other characters, though. Like they stand out.
Yeah, the same with the photographer. His eyes are farther apart too.
Well, he's not bad. He's not even bad.
No, because they said he forces his.
He doesn't force them. He talks them into it. Every fucking photographer does that shit. He's nothing special.
That's not wrong, unfortunately.
I know a lot of photographers, and I'll tell you, they're all crappy.
So one thing that did a fan give her a note that said to go to the website?
Yeah, you hear the fans say.
Okay.
I'm on Mima's room all the time.
Yeah, and they think she's running it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Not realizing there's someone else impersonating her.
Yeah, just creepy ass Mamoru Uchida, which is his full name, which is never once said in the movie. They just call him Mimania because that's his online name.
So that's the guy with the creepy eyes that got his ass beat in the beginning?
The security guard.
Yeah, he was so he was a security guard, but he was also making it look like she was dancing in his hand, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I saw it as he was trying to, like, he was fake recording her and like he was waiting for a panty shot, but your comparison makes more sense.
Nah, no, 100%. He was making her dance in the palm of his hand, which, oh look, that's called foreshadowing. Same with the Sentai scene at the beginning. This movie's all about the different masks we wear.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
I didn't think about that either.
Ken, this is why we bring you on.
Yeah. But like there's a lot of foreshadowing in this movie. And sometimes you gotta watch it like 2-3 times to figure out, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah. Especially there's a lot of stuff like in her bedroom. There's a lot of like little hints about what's gonna come. Because like there's a Noah mask, which is a traditional Japanese one that people usually wear to conceal their identity. So once again, playing into that whole theme throughout the movie.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
There is so much foreshadowing in this film. I was surprised.
And it's also pretty wild to, realize that, like, I don't know if you watched her room, but her room just gets messier as she's going more crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for that is Satoshi Kon was like, yeah, it's your bedroom. It's your reflection of your personality.
Oh, didn't think about that.
You ever listen to this dude talk? He's great.
Oh, yeah, he is.
And he's also the first one to say, look, this is what I intended, but I'm not telling you how to interpret it. You interpret it the way we want to interpret it. That doesn't mean it's not true.
There's also a lot of one thing, which is kind of the big career moment of this movie. Whenever I want to say I actually do believe it's the downward spiral starts. So this is technically the 90s, still the 90s, where it's things are still kind of in the water. So for her to have a rape scene on TV in the 90s was a big deal.
Okay.
Yeah, because one of the things I was looking at my husband, I was like, why is that a big deal? And he's like, it's the 90s. Because my husband had never seen this either, which I thought was really cool. Because he didn't figure out the ending until it popped up and then everything clicked. Yeah, so for that to happen to her, it's really fucked up, but it's also the B of like, you really gonna make us do this kind of thing?
I was surprised the rape scene and stuff. That did surprise me.
It's weird for us, but is it weird in Japan? Because everybody knows pretty much every other civilized nation in the world is less puritanical about shit than we are.
Yeah, it's Japan. They are more open about that stuff, but like, I guess the implication is it was going to be like on a broadcast TV show. That would be a little was not really common back in Japan in the 90s. I would say that was still more kind of like the underground AV videos at that time.
Okay, so like they even said they wanted to shoot it in a real club, and none of the clubs would let them do it.
Yeah,
which fair.
Yeah,
there is a little small detail that I think that I like too, which is always an important, also, I guess, acting kind of point. I do appreciate the small moment where they stop to adjust something, and the guy's on top of her, and he's like, "Hey, you doing okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." He's like, "You're not uncomfortable or anything, right?" She's like, "No, I'm still good." I appreciate that little detail too.
Same. He was checking on her. He's like, "I'm sorry, I don't, like we're just acting, but I don't like this. Like, I get it."
Like it's a rough. That scene's a rough watch.
It's a rough watch, and they all know it's fake, which is even more fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
So,
It was a bit.
Props to Mima for being a good actress.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
So one thing I was questioning about, because throughout this movie you see her on this show and they're talking about the show and how she's part of this, and like they're going back and forth on what's real and what's not. And I was really wondering, is that supposed to mean that it isn't, like, because what they're talking about on the TV show is pretty much what's happening in the real movie. Is that if somebody's a split personality?
That's just art imitating life, man.
Okay,
Yep.
it was. I wasn't sure if maybe it was all just not what I thought it was.
No. I think the movie is like the series it's filming. I think that's all real.
Okay. I was a little just unsure, but like when I watched this movie the second time, I paid a lot more attention to Rumi because I knew where the hell the movie's going with it.
Yeah.
And you do see a lot of things with her that definitely make you, like, you can tell, like, when she has the rape scene, like, her cigarette, she doesn't ash it. She just lets it run out.
Yeah. And I think that's like Rumi's complete breaking point.
I think so. One thing that since we're gonna get into it, obviously, since it is very much spoiler territory. If you've been listening to us now's your chance to stop listening to us and go watch the movie and figure out what the big twist is and come back. But the entire movie, is it
Mima
is being gaslit because the website, whenever the killer is trying to kill her, he says that you've sent me emails every day, so I know what your life is like. You assume that Misa is telling Rumi her entire life. That's why she knows about all these personal details that go on the website.
Yeah.
What is it? So obviously you assume that her crying the first time you watch it is her upset for her, but what it actually is her realizing that it's her breaking point because she knows that the idol she's been seeing has been completely fucked up and now she has to fix it.
No, that's fair, I think. I mean, because, if you do see someone as, like, a god and all of a sudden now they're being tarnished, like, it's got to be hard on your psyche.
Yeah. And another aspect of this is because we find out Rumi used to be a former idol too, and it could be like that scene and she feels like it's just a complete like slap in the face of everything that she did and everything that she worked and believed in as the whole idol culture thing as well.
Yep. 100%. That is mentioned in one sentence, and it's real easy to miss. When the manager Tadashi is talking to Rumi, he's like, "Oh, well, it's different since you were treading the boards." And it's like, oh, okay, she used to be an idol.
Yeah, there's a lot of little one-line things that are very important in this movie that you can miss. It's very subtle.
I almost wish they would have hung more of a hat on that, on the fact that Rumi used to be an idol.
Yeah.
Well, it's very important to what's happening.
Yeah,
well, they technically did, if you want to think. Technically, that makes more sense in a later scene where you think it's her. Like I said, the whole movie she's being gaslit, so she makes herself think that she actually has DID. So on that scene where I think she's acting, but then you see her on stage with her friends and you see everyone react. So that would technically be Rumi on stage. And that's why everyone reacted like that, not because everyone thought that she was mommy, that they realized he was Rumi. And that's why they freaked out, because it was an older idol.
Okay, so there really was somebody on stage.
Yes, it was Rumi. That was Rumi dancing on stage with them.
Huh.
Okay, because like one thing, anytime you watch psychological movies like this, I try to see what the other characters do. Do they react to the person, or does only the main character we're watching react? That's something I can tell you what's real and what's not. Mm-hmm. And I did notice on the stage, the audience reacts.
The audience reacts and the girls react. Whenever she walks through the middle of them, they both turn to look at her.
Right. So, it's also, if I'm remembering correctly, isn't that scene all from the perspective of the killer too? So you're kind of questioning if even that's accurate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not catch that part, but yes, that makes sense. Yeah, there's a lot of shit to this movie.
Probably also mentioned that after she left her band, the two remaining members suddenly became like super popular after she left, which also just adds to her, deteriorating state.
feel like it's a slap in the face. It's even more fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they make a comment how they never charted before and now they charted.
Well,
yeah, and even like
see, like Mima leaving the group could have brought more eyes to to them too. So like,
Yeah.
True.
can't really just be like, yeah, it's all your fault.
you also notice that when she left, like they kind of talk like shit about her when she's not there in that one scene.
Oh yeah, with when they're talking about the photographer.
Photographer, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think I caught that.
yeah, they were like, oh, Mima's ready to take her clothes off. She doesn't care. She's gonna go for it.
I think
Okay.
is that when they pulled the party streamers?
Yes, I think so.
It was a little after that, but yes, still around that time.
Yeah. Well, one thing that also is interesting too is we're talking about the whole like in between, not sure. She was whenever Mima walks into the like, I guess they're doing like a radio show or something. She sees what she thinks is her sitting in the booth. Technically, that is from what I guess you can figure out because later that's Rumi sitting in the booth and leaving, and she's actually just freaking out because of nothing. And that's Rumi running through the hall or moving through the hall, and Mima chasing her. And that's why no one thinks it's weird because it looks like they're following each other.
Okay, I was wondering about that because anytime you see the Rumi as the other woman running, she like floats around like she's not real.
Mm-hmm. But
I think other Mima's a hallucination too. I think it just depends on the situation.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, isn't there like a scene where she's in her room and she's talking to her the hallucination on the TV?
Yes, there's
Yeah.
There's a couple scenes where like when she's in the bus at one point she just sees herself talking to her in the mirror. There's a few where it's her hallucinating for sure.
I think the one in the car is actually Rumi.
What was that, Joe? I was coughing, didn't hear you.
I think the one in the car when she's in the car with her manager and another car drives by and she sees herself in the car. I think that's actually Rumi.
Oh, okay.
I think that's Rumi fucking with her.
I don't know. I don't, but like Satoshi Kon, don't let me tell you.
And
also implied that Rumi is not even aware of what she's doing.
Like that's how I kind of felt about it was that like Rumi just like walked into this and like this is all Mima's breakdown. Like Rumi doesn't even know what's going on until the end.
No, so I have proof that Rumi's actually gaslighting her. There's a scene where she's eating lunch with Rumi, and then the scene happens, and then she's eating lunch with Rumi again, and she goes, "Rumi, were you here yesterday?" And she's like, "Yeah, I was here yesterday. Did you forget? Did we have lunch?" And she goes, "Yeah, of course. What do you mean?" Rumi's purposely bringing the same thing every day to lunch to fuck with her, so she can't realize what day it is.
Oh,
I don't know if Rumi's that smart.
I think
Rumi was stashing the murder clothes on the second day.
What if it wasn't Rumi in control, but it was the alternate Mimi that was in control at that time?
I think that's fair because she has the two personalities.
I think Rumi's fucking with her and she knows she has a breaking point because as I said before, she tells her everything. So I think she knows and she's purposely kind of breaking she's doing things on purpose to fuck with her, to make her think she's going crazy.
I mean, people do that.
Mm-hmm.
I speak from experience. People do that. And if it's someone you trust, you can fuck with someone. You can start make them start questioning their reality. So it seems accurate to me. Yeah,
because it also goes into the other thing that I know is Rumi is whenever the killer's in the room and he's on the computer and he's like, I have to save the real Mima, and then you see the weird fake glowing one, and she's like, yeah, that's right, you can do it, you can save that fake, you can save the real me from the fake me. I think that's also Rumi.
Oh, that's Rumi emailing him.
Yeah, she's not in the room, I don't think.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that it's her emailing him and he's falling for it because he's obsessed with her, as we see in his room, because he has all these photos of her everywhere.
You know what? I know it's the 90s. Would it be emailing or would it be instant messaging?
It could be either one. Email came before instant messaging.
Yeah, but emails took longer, right?
No,
email was just a different form of it. I mean, they both were instant.
It very well could have been instant messaging too, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like 97, that was high AIM and ICQ. So it's entirely possible.
Would you pay for like 1,000 hours?
The days. I'm going to say it. We were better at a country when our internet time was limited. There, I said it.
I agree with that.
You're not wrong.
Soda was better. Pizza Hut was better. Taco Bell had the dollar menu.
We used to be a real country.
Now look at us.
Say it again.
Wendy's wants to fluctuate their menu prices whenever people are hungry. Eat my ass, Wendy's.
Yeah,
Yeah, that went away real fast.
Did they get rid of it?
Yeah, they canceled it immediately after it got like announced because people were like,
Oh.
"Fuck you, Wendy's." And people were like, "Well, we were just kidding."
Here's a SpongeBob meal.
It's like prices are bad enough, people. You don't need to raise your prices just because you think you can.
So I have a question for you guys. When did you realize she was in the fake room?
Right when she opens the window.
The
When she
fish.
realized it, I realized it.
The fish. The fish is.
I
a
should
good
have
moment.
realized it with the fish. Yes.
Yeah, the fish was a good is the moment, but technically, I think you can realize it earlier because I think when she's you see her laying on the bed first before she gets up and you see the fish, the room's cleaner.
Right.
Also,
And
I think
poster.
the poster has
Poster.
all three of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't catch any of that. I was like, "Oh, when did she get new fish?" I'm like, "Oh, she must have just forgot about it. We didn't see." It's when she looked out the window and she realized I realized it, and I was very confused. So
Probably also mentioned the murders that happened throughout this, which then she starts thinking she is actually the murderer, because those are pretty pivotal scenes in this movie too. Also,
yeah.
pretty brutal as well.
yes,
I think so. We can go technically from the beginning because we also have a really fucked up act of violence whenever she's on like I think it's her first
Her first day filming, yeah.
Yeah, her first day filming, she gets a letter and it blows up in his fucking hand. That's pretty fucked up.
yeah, that was. And then
Yeah,
they just shake it off, like, "Oh, it's nothing." I'm like, "You almost got murdered, buddy."
I know, you're missing fingers, dude.
Oh, did he actually lose fingers from that?
I think he's.
Oh.
I can't remember. He's not? Okay.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Nope. I went back and paused it a couple times, and no, he's not. He's just bleeding. It was like, and they even said this was a warning. Next time it'll be the real thing. So like, it's not supposed to like kill anybody. It's supposed to mess up your day, and it did. Like Tadakoro's day got ruined.
That is fair. My day would be ruined too if I opened up a letter and it blew up in my hand. I would not be happy. I need my hands.
And then they kill the I believe it's the writer of the show is the first one that gets killed in the elevator.
That's a good scene with the
I
music's
love that
playing.
scene.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't even see it. That's what just makes it so great. Just the door opens and it's just like, oh shit, what happened here?
And at first, I was watching with Tiff. She made a comment. She's like, "Well, did it blow up?" I'm like, "No, his eyes are missing, and if it blew up, the damage would be different."
It just reminded me of one of the kills from the Untouchables. Like the doors open and then the dude's just in the elevator and blood all over the place. Like stylistically very similar.
A good scene.
But seriously fucked up.
Oh, there's a lot of fucked up scenes in this movie. And then there's the one where you see who you think is the main character killing the photographer.
Oh, that scene it's rough, but it's beautifully animated too in the same way.
So it's Roomy, right?
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, because he's like, "Oh, you look pretty weird for pizza guy," and I was like, "Maybe I don't look weird. I bet your Roomy does though."
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but during that scene, I was getting like heavy Watchmen vibes from when Ozymandias kills the comedian, because it's kind of a similar.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Not what I expected.
Man, everybody be stealing from this movie.
It's okay. Everyone steals from everything.
Not always.
Yeah.
Until you look at it. Yes.
By the way, before we go too much past it, how good of a song is Angel of Love? Like, for real. It's goddamn pop.
It's good.
Such a good song.
So I have a fucked up question.
Please, that's what we're here for.
Did they base the episode off of the killing, or did she kill him to copy the show? Because both the photographer and on the show they were killed with an ice pick.
Isn't that just maybe kind of a Japan thing because you can't get certain like weapons it's not like America where you can just go buy an AK-47 down the street. Like, I mean, Joseph, if someone's lived in Japan, like you can't even have like large knives, right?
No, you can't. Like all firearms are banned unless you're a police officer, and even then, that's really restricted on who can carry it at that point. But yeah, you could only really get like screwdrivers and stuff. Like I know we talked about the guy who assassinated the former prime minister, but that was just he made that out of like a pipe and some duct tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like it's like you really have to get creative with weapons over there.
So an ice pick kind of can make sense then.
But it's also interesting because all the kills they go for the eyes, which I think is really an interesting thing, intentional. Like you can't look at her or look upon her or something. That's how I kind of interpreted it.
That's
Mhm.
exactly what it is. Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool. I was thinking about that too because they always go for the eyes. Like when that guy got stabbed in the eye for the pizza delivery thing, I was like, "Oh my god!" Like that is, I'd be like, "Finish the job, just get me out of my misery."
He got lobotomized.
Yeah.
You stabbed him in the dick too.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
that's
stabbed him in the dick
cold.
afterwards.
Yeah. And I love in that
That's ugh.
scene when she's killing him. It shows the background of the TV, and it's just the replay of her killing him in the background.
Yes and no. I think he was in his. Isn't he like in his? Doesn't it also reveal that he's basically like in his room looking at her like naked photos? Because isn't that also in the background too? Like her naked photos.
He's watching something on TV with her.
Oh, okay.
Because it does show. This is when you show, like, because earlier you see the photos, but she has some clothes on, and it's during this part that you find out that she did nude photos too for him.
Oh, and that guy's going around buying all the magazines too, like having an actual like crash out.
Yeah, people do that.
Yeah.
Like people have like nutty ass parasocial relationships over there. Like you think it's bad here with like streamers and shit. It's worse over there with the fucking idols.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. It's like a cult mentality over there with following these idols.
You know, I'd rather have people be a cult for an idol than a political figure. So hey,
You say that till you get into.
what, Joe?
So you say that until you see the people who are obsessed with trains, and if you accidentally ruin their shot, you'll get like beat to death.
Yeah, don't get in their way.
And I think people over in Japan just need to loosen up and let the shit go.
You say that, but I think we all need to fucking loosen up.
Yeah.
I want to go to Japan someday.
The world could use a loosening up.
Uh-huh.
But
It's one of my dreams is to visit Japan, Germany. There's a few countries, but we'll see if that ever happens or not.
I don't know about Germany now, if their political stuff going on now.
Oh, is it bad over there right now?
Ooh,
I can
great.
follow it.
Yeah.
Nazis coming back. Just not called Nazis.
Hmm.
Is it like, wasn't it called like original Germany or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. And then I think the other was like the Conservative Christian Party or something is the other one.
Oh
Don't we learn from history, people? Like,
no.
okay,
No,
yeah,
that's
right.
the lesson. We don't.
I know.
We even have TV shows about not learning from history, and people will go, "Oh, we'll never do that," and then we keep doing it.
That couldn't be me. Anyway, here's some money, Orange Man.
That realization that she did all the nude photos, I think is just so good. I was also surprised to see full nudity like that here, that they did that. Like, they don't. That kind of threw me for a loop, too. I didn't expect that. But it works. Like, I don't, it actually fit what they're going for. I mean, it's just a drawing, but still, I wasn't expecting it. It surprised me a little bit.
That's fair. Especially if you don't watch like a ton of anime.
I don't, but also the anime, when I do watch it, is Adult Swim stuff. Essentially, it's stuff that would have been on Adult Swim back then. I'm just rewatching it. But no,
Well,
I'm not a big anime person.
That's kind of the reason why I wanted you to watch this, Mike, because I can recommend tons of anime, but at the end of the day, anime's kind of become way too mainstream, where a lot of it's either easily applicable or it's just kind of just all the same fucking thing. A lot of this from back then, when this is from my favorite era, where everyone's like, "Ooh, anime's for kids," and then you go, "Here, watch Perfect Blue," and they're like, "Oh, anime's not for kids," and then you have, well, look at all this other shit they also have, and it gets you into more, like Gundam and stuff like that.
Gundam. I'm
Yeah,
going down that rabbit hole right now.
But you like Gundam Evangelion.
Bro,
Evangelion's hard.
I
No,
wouldn't wish Evangelion on my worst enemy or my best friend.
not
Yeah,
OG
I
Evangelion.
gotta agree with Ken on that one.
I've seen
Like-
all Evangelion, but it's tough.
Don't get me
I'll be all
wrong.
the old-
I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it's one of the best animes ever. I would not recommend it to anybody.
I would recommend the movies, maybe not the anime.
Like it gets hard.
tough.
It gets
It
hard to
fucks with you.
watch.
I mean, this movie kind of fucks with. This movie fucks with. Not kind of does fuck with you too, but differently.
Yeah, and there's a lot of head fuckery in anime out there, and that's why I love it.
No, I want to watch more anime. Like, what I was happy that all three of you guys pretty much suggested this because Joe made the poll, and I'm like, well, this is perfect. So it was because I need to see more of this stuff. I need to get more of this stuff out there too.
Death Note episode when?
The show or the movie?
Yes.
I actually just watched that whole show again.
The show, or the show, or the movie, or the movie, or this
Or
game
the
play.
movie.
I know there's a couple
Or-
live
yeah.
action movies in Japan and America. The America one is awful.
It's
But-
not though.
Hey, Misa was not a hot goth chick, therefore movie failed. Right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't
there was a good fucking reason. Anyway, that's not this
All right.
episode.
You
Yes.
can't. Misa is one of those my anime crush girl. Like if she was real, and they took her, and I didn't get what I wanted, and I'm gonna still be upset to the yeah.
Okay,
And
fine.
ironically, Misa is a representation of Japanese idol culture, just like this movie.
Yeah, there we go. There.
She
Thank
also an
you.
idol in
Thank
that
you.
show
You made it
too,
fit.
because she's a movie star type thing or singer, whatever the fuck she is, before she starts. Yeah.
Yeah, I told you can do all three if you want to. It's got the good enough fucking company.
I mean, but you probably aren't doing this. You're not. She's doing the more adult stuff, which I don't think would work for idol culture to have nudity and things like that.
It doesn't. It causes controversy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for
lot.
example, speaking of idols, Hitler was portrayed in the public as he was single because he couldn't be portrayed that he had a wife or girlfriend.
Oh my god, I was waiting for you to tell me that he had fucking nude pics out there somewhere.
I don't know why you said idol and Hitler, and I thought of someone drawing Hatsune Miku as Adolf Hitler.
Oh God.
Okay, that part I don't know, but
I've already seen that reel on Instagram, whatever.
But no, that is a true thing. Like he was never seen out with a woman, and he did have a longtime girlfriend that became his wife before they blew their brains out. But like that kind of reminded me of that same idea because he was an idol to his people. I mean, we have an idol here too, but he has a lover named Mr. Musk. So, but that's a little different.
Well, yeah. Did you see that picture? That totally real picture of him getting his feet eaten?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I love the internet sometimes. I really do.
I fucking don't. I hate this fucking place.
I like that the internet did that somebody hacked that place and put that on the TVs. They couldn't stop it. Someone had to go around and unplug TVs to stop it.
So the worst moment, or one of the worst moment, I think the best moment, which I love how this movie's animated, is she meets the killer and he's also about to do awful things to her. And yeah, he's about to rape her. And she hits him with a hammer.
Almost in the exact same way that it was shot on the TV too.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Like that's important.
And she hits him with this hammer, and you have a moment of you're like, "Fuck, did that work?" And you're not sure. And I love exactly how it's played out, where you're completely on edge. If like, is he kind of gonna like get more pissed off, or did that do it? And it did.
There's no blood. That's the part that throws you for a loop.
Mm-hmm. And he doesn't make any noise either.
I mean, I think if you smash me in the head with a hammer, there's going to be blood and there's going to be a lot of screaming.
Not necessarily.
Could have been in shock.
If you smack him in the temple, that could just drive brain fragments into the brain, not break the skin.
Oh.
And then, it's pretty much just word salad from that point.
Yeah, she also hit him with the pointy end of the hammer.
Yeah, they do make sure you see that the hammer is gone.
Yeah. Although in the scene that follows that, it does make you question if any of that actually happened, though.
Well, you see him dead, but you see him next to Toki. What was the guy? The guy that gives. Yeah, they got his hand blow up. Who right before that scene, I did not catch it the first time, but on my second watch, he right before he disappears, when he's talking to Rumi, he says, "I got her another role. It's got a few sketchy scenes, but it is what it is," type of thing. And then he walks off to be murdered. So it makes you think that she's killing them, the actress. That's what my brain thought.
So my idea that I think kind of regrounds it if you didn't catch it. I do at least like the idea of her leaving the room and her seeing Rumi and then going, "Rumi, I've been attacked." And you see her clothes damaged, but the killer's gone and she's like, "What are you talking about? There's no one here, so what happened?" But her clothes are damaged, so you know what happened.
Oh, yeah. But she just hides it, or she...
Bad.
Well, she's gaslighting her, because she knows what happened, because she sent the person to go kill her.
And she killed she killed him when he wasn't quite dead.
Oh, she finished the job?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why his eye's gone.
I did not catch that his eye was gone.
Yeah. And she even makes a reference at the ending where she's like, "Yeah, he didn't get the job done, so I had to, put him down."
Yeah, she's kind of the worst.
Yeah, she's pretty fucked up. They're all pretty fucked up, like, people in this movie. There's a lot of them. But it's such a good scene when you do finally start, when you get to the end of this movie and you kind of put it together, even though I was confused as hell still. Even when the movie was telling me what was happening, I was still confused.
Mike, I put on this outfit. I now look like Mima. I killed them. You don't say. Interesting.
I was still confused.
But who's Mima? So she's so crazy gone for the most part. She actually is still completely mentally damaged. And the killer is revealing to herself. This is my favorite part of the whole movie, by the way, where Rika reveals that she's she's the killer and all this other stuff, blah, blah, blah. And Mima's still hallucinating, so she looks in the mirror and sees her and knows that. But what is it? And her hallucination is still her of it being the perfect her, basically, or her idol self. And there's two moments that I completely love, which is her choking her out, and you see the illusion unsnapping, and you see like her eyes separate and her getting like bigger because she's actually dying, and it's the illusion breaking because she can actually choke her out.
That was good.
Yeah.
And then they fight more, and she gets away, and you have Mima running from Rika, and you have no idea how she's doing this, where she's just magically floating down and skipping and chasing her, and you're like, how the fuck is she doing this? And then you realize it's all in Mima's mind because you see her skipping, but in the reflection you see like just her like hauling ass and like completely terrifying. And it's like, oh, it actually is just in her fucking head. Like that wasn't her gently coming down, it was her actually falling like 30 feet. Like it's just, yeah.
They do a good job of making you really question what you're watching. Because I sure as hell was questioning.
Get stabbed with an umbrella. It's just like, oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
But also, aren't umbrellas a very common thing in Japan?
Oh, yeah, they're all over the place.
Okay. Because, like, here, umbrellas aren't that common.
Oh, no, they do that thing.
Where are you?
Apparently. And, I mean, I wouldn't find an umbrella just randomly on the corner of the street or something.
No. See, yeah, no. Mike doesn't know that weird Japan thing where they actually have, like, they actually appreciate people. So, like, all schools have umbrellas and, like, in front of shops. Like, shops always have umbrellas and things like that. So, yeah, it's super easy for you to find umbrellas there. They even have, like, little lockers you can leave them in whenever you go to stores and stuff. That way you don't bring a wet umbrella inside.
Oh, yeah, they have, like, little things outside the store. Like, please, put your umbrella in this before coming in. Take it off of your shoes.
And it's like amongst culture, too, where it's like, hey, did you forget your umbrella at home? Well, there's a spare one. Is it yours? No, then don't fucking take it or you're a dick. And they won't, usually.
Okay. I know, well, plus, like, we don't walk at least where I am, people don't really walk as much, I feel like. Or I don't go anywhere. Maybe that's part of it, too. So, I don't know. I don't have a good answer, but I just know that umbrellas are not as common as they feel. Like, the fact that she just found one on the side of the street and then was able to murder her with it is where I was going with this.
She had her shit stabbed, too. That thing goes like 4 fucking inches.
Yeah, that would hurt a lot.
Mm-hmm. But it's also all blunt.
I've never been stabbed, actually, surprisingly.
It's not fun.
No, I have people threaten me a lot. I have people threaten to kill me a few times, but...
Oh, I've stabbed myself.
Oh, I poked my finger. I've been burned, literally. That's about it, though.
Have you been hit by a
I
truck?
stepped on a Lego once.
I did do that, too. No, I never get hit by... Well, when I was in the stroller, the stroller I was in got hit by a car, and I went rolling out, apparently. I don't remember it, though, because I was a baby. But apparently it happened.
Joseph, you've been hit by a car?
No, she does the roomie does, like, she thinks it's like a spotlight, so she goes in the middle of the road to start dancing, and then Mimi pushes her
that's
out
what's
of the
going
road
on.
right before she gets nailed.
Yeah.
I was wondering what was going on with that.
Yeah, she's crazy. She's crazy.
She's
And
suffering
after all
mental.
Her damn mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get the big ending with the in the mental institution, asylum, rehab. I'm not sure what the proper word is anymore for these places.
It's a sanitarium.
I don't think that's the
If you
correct
don't
word.
know the right word, go back even older.
Oh, I think it's just hospital would be...
She's in a home. She's
Yeah.
wearing pajamas.
No, she's in a hospital. That's not like an assisted living home or anything like that, or memory care or something. She also committed multiple murders, so she's more in a secured place. But she's not in prison because she shouldn't be in prison because she's not in her right mind. She thinks she's somebody else. I mean, I do believe people do suffer that. Like, there are people out there who suffer double personalities and things.
She is a building for the criminally insane.
Yes.
She's in Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
She's Japan edition.
Man, Arkham Asylum is so, like, just awful in multiple ways than one. Like, man, that is not much of a hospital. That's neither here nor there.
To be fair, I think we also have that where we have like 4 mental institutions in America, but one you don't want to fucking go to, and they tell you that you don't want to go to it because it's actually for like the criminally insane. And
Like
if you go, no, like people that like actually have like multiple disorders, and one side of them is actually like physically dangerous, but they can't control it.
Oh, I'm sure we have. Yeah, we definitely have stuff like that. You just kind of, you have to. That scene when she wakes up in the wrong room, and then Rima's like, she's like, well, this is Mima's room, not your room. Also, is that apartment really just that little? Like, it's a tiny little apartment, right? Like a bedroom and a sink and
like a bathroom like attached to another room. But yeah, that's pretty common over there.
okay. I know a little bit about Japan because I watch stuff, but I don't know a lot.
There's some things about Japan that I still don't understand because I haven't actually researched. Like, I don't even think they have CPS there.
Child
So many,
protection services?
yeah, there's so many animes I watch where it's like, hey, that kid's got no parents. What does he do? Just go home? Yeah. Oh, okay.
I mean, it's also
Yes,
a
Japan
cartoon,
has
so
child protective services, including child guidance centers, welfare offices, and the Child
Yeah.
Abuse Prevention Act.
Yeah, but also but Japan too, their culture is so work oriented. It's not uncommon for parents to work like 10 hours and the kid to be independent and able to take care of themselves.
Oh, in Japan's work culture is awful. You have to like you have to hire a lawyer to quit a job.
You have to pay a fee too, and you can get blacklisted too. It's ridiculous.
Wait, that's real?
Yeah.
That is totally real. Yeah.
They have these companies called black companies that pay you like bullshit ass money, and if you like they basically tell you, oh, you can't leave us. If you do, we'll give you like a bad review, and you'll never work anywhere ever again.
I had a friend who was a teacher there. When they resigned, they had to go in front of the whole school and read a letter explaining why they were resigning.
Wow.
If you don't go out and drink with your boss on Mondays during the work week, you won't get a promotion.
I mean, that's not that far off from real life. So,
Aww.
I mean, not to going out, but just like, again, it's the people who are liked who get promoted in a lot of jobs.
And you're
Who
not
you know.
allowed to leave work until your boss leaves.
That's awful. That's real?
Yes, that is completely real.
Oh.
Your boss also has to make the same amount as someone else on your company, though. So technically, they're like, if like the highest paid person only makes $40 an hour, the CEO also has to make $40 an hour.
They should try that in America.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I know it's not going to happen. All right, Japan's different. I don't say I want to live there, but I do want to visit. Oh, but one thing that earlier in the movie that I do want to bring up that I was thinking about when I was watching this, when she first reading the email or reading the website about Mima's room, and she's like, "Oh, this is kind of cute," and then I like how it goes from cute to creepy very quickly, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's accurate." Like, there's that fine line, and that fine line is crossed.
I say it takes her a hot minute to realize all of it's true. That's why. Because when she saw it, she's like, "Oh, it's someone pretending to be me." And then she realizes that it knows things about her. She thinks she never told anyone, so she starts freaking out.
Okay.
even though Rumi was like sitting right next to her when she said those things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But you don't expect your friend manager to be, telling other people.
I don't trust a single person in my life, so like I would suspect them immediately.
Fair enough.
Like, that's not entirely true, but the people that are close to you are always going to be the first one to screw you over. That's just fact. I'm sorry.
I learned that the hard way at one point in my life, so I understand. There's something else that I wanted to mention that I'm trying to think about. I had the movie playing in the background too while we're talking. There's a part that I wanted to bring up. Oh, we kind of talked a little about like the drama. The movie confuses you by making you, because the drama is talking about a split personality also. It really does a good job of confusing you what's real and what's not. Like, I did think it was Mima killing everybody. I really did. Until the movie kind of goes, nope, it's not her. And I do like in the ending of this movie, she has longer hair. She grew her hair out longer. And I'm assuming in the idol group, she had to be in the middle hair because the other two had short and long.
I never thought about that.
See, the interesting thing is they don't talk about how long it was after all this that she goes to see Rumi.
No, they never say.
Because the nurses outside recognize her. So she has to be a little more famous than she was.
Oh, it's definitely a couple of years, I think, that passed.
Same. I think it's been at least it's longer than you think it is.
It's been 1 week since you visited me. Not that? Okay.
Yeah.
That's about
No, it probably is a couple of years at least.
Well, how long does it take to grow out your hair?
Oh, a while, but it also takes a long time to get noticed and become kind of famous.
Yeah, because
That's
whenever
fair.
she's leaving the hospital, they're whispering about her if it's her or not. So
No,
that's
she's got to be
fair.
more than one TV show famous.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 6 years of a podcast famous. How about that?
I will put it this way. I think their TV shows, which is actually really interesting, and I only say this because my only frame of reference is Kamen Rider and Super Sentai. I think those shows go on for like a whole year. So like if you get approved for a show, it's not one season. You get approved for like 50 episodes because you have to play once a week.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so technically, yeah, it's probably been a couple of years. She's probably on her third or fourth show already.
Or on a movie now.
Or like maybe a show and 2 movies. Anything about that.
And she's so much happier too in that very last scene.
See, that's
Yeah.
an interesting thing because I don't know if anybody noticed or me reading too much in this, but like when Rumi looks into the mirror and she sees the reflection of idol Mimi, like it's all like the window turns like a bright white, and then when Mimi's leaving the facility and she gets in her car, she looks in the rearview mirror. The white's like behind the car, like it's almost like Rumi is still looking into a fantasy and Mimi's leaving the fantasy.
Oh,
Yeah, like that's the way I took it, is that life's really just starting to sort itself out for Mima now. She's past her confusion phase and Rumi's still trapped. So like that's why it's the only blue sky in the movie is at the end.
Yep.
One might even say it's a perfect blue sky.
I don't think the soundboard works to be recorded, so we have to do my version. All right. I didn't catch that.
I haven't thought that either. Also, as flipped as it is, I think it's also kind of bad to leave your I think it's bad to leave your management team. So she kind of got a free pass because her manager died and the other one went crazy. So she didn't have to feel bad and got her a better manager who probably didn't put her in sex roles.
Yeah, that's probably accurate.
Probably easier for her to get work now because now she'll be famous from the whole, someone tried to murder you and all that stuff. Because even back then, people loved those kind of stories.
No, they do. That's definitely true.
Oh man, watch this. It's like Scream. She like probably sold the rights of her fucking story to like a movie or something.
Man, that's disgusting.
All right, any other things we should say about this film, or should we go to Shelf Stacker Box?
One interesting fact, I don't know if anybody knew this, but this is actually based off a book.
Yeah.
Apparently, the director never read the book, so he doesn't even know what the title Perfect Blue means. Yeah, the book and this movie are two entirely different things. The only thing that's similar is that the character Mimi is an idol.
Huh.
Like, I haven't read the book. It's on my wish list along with the sequel that came out 2 years before the movie did.
The hell is the sequel about?
I don't know.
It's a bunch of short stories. It follows new characters, but it's kind of similar in tone with the first one.
Well, at least that happened. Unlike the sequel to Forrest Gump, where he marries a Native American woman and almost blows up the Pentagon and does crack cocaine.
Oh, God, don't talk about Gump and Company in my presence.
Wait, that's a book,
piece of shit. Yes.
Yeah, the Forrest Gump books are fucking weird.
They are.
But if anybody wants the book, it's Perfect Blue Complete Metamorphosis by Yoshikazu Takuichi.
Apparently, there's a Japanese television drama series of this too.
It's terrible.
Oh, okay.
It's also just regarding the book, it is out of print now, so it is getting a little hard to find. So if you're going to grab it now before it shoots up in price. And also, who's the guy that does Darren Aronofsky? Is that the guy who did Black Swan?
And Requiem, yeah.
Yeah, he has been trying to make a live action version of this movie for years, and he couldn't ever get the rights. So he just took the plot and made Black Swan, because Black Swan just copies a lot of the same themes in this movie, and even captures like some of the same scenes with the camera angles and whatnot.
Oh, so we're gonna watch Black Swan this year. Hopefully, is my plan for Spooktober or somewhere around there.
I've never seen Black Swan, so that makes sense.
I want to because of one reason. So
there's also a scene in Requiem for a Dream that steals heavily from this one, the one where Mima's in the bathtub and is looking straight down on her, and then it goes like underwater. That is directly stolen from this movie in Requiem for a Dream. Aronofsky admitted it to Satoshi Kon.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never seen Requiem for a Dream.
That's one you maybe don't need to.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you want to talk about a depressing movie?
Yeah, then I probably don't need to.
Yeah, it's rough, buddy.
Okay. Well, stay away from it then. I don't tend to watch real depressed. Well, I mean, I do sometimes, but you got to be in the right mindset to watch a real depressing movie.
Yeah.
I'm not always in the right mindset for that. So, all right. Should we go to Shelf Stacker Box?
Sure.
All right. And Ken, why don't you lead us in?
I'm absolutely putting this bad boy on the shelf. I don't know when this is coming out, next month. Okay. Well, in early March, the College of Lake County had a showing of this for their International Film Festival. At the time of recording, it hasn't happened yet, but it will be happening, and I will be in attendance there to see it with a crowd.
3/6. This is coming out. Sorry.
Really?
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Is that the same date as the thing?
Actually, I think it is. Yeah, it is. It's the same day that I'll be going to watch this with a crowd of people. But yeah, absolutely show for me. It really is a masterpiece. And fucking, you get a chance, go bump Angel of Love tonight. So good.
And Joe.
It's also going on the shelf. I love this movie. I haven't watched since I first watched it, and I'm super glad that it completely holds up. Might rewatch it again because technically I bought it. So,
Right, Joseph.
Yeah, this is absolutely a shelf. This is personally one of my favorite anime. I think it's one I recommend to everyone, and it's a hell of a debut for Satoshi Kon, as this was his first direct job, I believe. And yeah, this is a hell of a movie to do for your first one.
That is completely fair. All right, and I'll go last. I'm going to put this on the shelf also. I really enjoyed this movie. It needed to be watched twice in order for it to make sense to me, but I really liked it. And I'm glad that I finally have watched it, because it's been on my list to watch forever, and I just never got around to it. So thank you for all three of you played a part in me finally seeing this movie. So I really appreciate that. So I'm happy. This was really good. This was a really good show. Or movie, not show. Yeah, I think that's... Probably we should just go to plugs. All right. And if you enjoyed this episode, over 750 other episodes of this podcast. Everything we do is on Podbean. You can search, find all our content. We do movies, games, comics, TV shows, all sorts of content. If you want to support the show, we do have a Patreon. That's how this can happen. We have 1 to 2 polls a month. Vote in our Patreon. Help us out. Make me smile. And if you want to be on the show, if you want to suggest things on the show that I will get to someday. This was actually a suggestion also from Joseph. Join our Discord. It is free. We're always having new people join us. You can suggest things, be on the show. You can lurk. I don't care. Just join the Discord. It's free. And I want to give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro courtesy of Elena at Hell Has Freak. Follow her on TikTok and Instagram. And definitely go check out Gamer Looks at 40 with Bill Tucker. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube, audio only. Wherever you get rate and reviews, wherever you get your podcasting. That's everything I need to say. So we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.
So long.
Sayonara.